All right, UFC Amanda Rhibas versus Mackenzie Dern. Almost forgot the name there. Number two to start off 2025. I know we are blessed, aren't we? Oh man, but at least the fight card was okay. You know, wasn't a dog shit card. Actually, it was a dog shit card. The fights were okay on the main card. Early prelims or prelims, I guess in this case, it was kind of dog water. But hey, at least we got 311 just around the corner. Now, why am I making this video? This is my no, not my predictions, my breakdowns of what happened during the event, my thoughts and opinions. If you don't know, I do picks and predictions throughout the weeks of every single fight card. Go ahead, subscribe, click that notification bell. Just normal things. But yeah, trying to get money here. Eventually gonna build an empire on this business. Anyways, getting into the card here, we had Narulo Aliv versus Joe Selecki. Now, I did say this year I wanted to start keeping track of the cards I get right, or the picks I get right. This card I did go positive, but I'll probably show at the end maybe my record, or I might end up doing records, like 1-0 or like 1-1, whatever the win-loss ratio is in the bottom right hand corner. Either or, I'll figure out something in editing. But yeah, I do my own editing, just saying. Anyways, yeah. Anyways. Narulo Aliv, Joe Selecki. Now, this one, I did pick Narulo Aliv. Now, why did I pick Narulo Aliv? Joe Selecki's just not that good, And I think that's what we found out. He's just really not that good. Aliv was ahead a little bit pretty much everywhere. Joe Selecki, I almost got the fight like pitch perfect. I said Joe Selecki will probably end up outstriking him. And there's going to be like one round where it's like, well, Joe Selecki did outland him. I think I said by triple or quadruple. I was obviously exaggerating. But yeah, Joe Selecki, I think, outlanded him in the third round. I think pretty significantly. I want to say close to double strikes. I didn't really go back to look. But Aliv definitely just laid and hugged and prayed. He's a cliff dweller. That's what they do. He's accepted in the cliff. But as we'll find out, some might not have the ability to hang on the said cliff. But moving on, we have Fatimi Klein versus Victoria Dudikova. Hey, the coin itself, if you don't know, I do this high-tech method where I flip a coin. Heads is typically the one on the left, tails is typically the one on the right, and we landed on Fatimi Klein. I'm happy I did. Thank God I did. Because, man, Dudikova just did not look good out there. At least past, like, the first couple minutes. But yeah, or I guess the first minute. And then it just kind of looked like it was Klein's swing way, Dudikova just didn't really do much. It's a women's fight, who cares? Moving on, Magomed That versus Bruno Lopez. Now here we get to the cliff dweller he's been kicked off the cliff. No more cliff for him, alright? No more... he's lost all cliff privileges, alright? No more for this Magomed guy. No. You're 9-0 going into the UFC. I kind of expected a little bit more than hugging against the fucking cage and doing nothing. Kind of pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie. Not even because it's my pick, but it's just like, brother, this is your career. This is what you fight for. This is what gets you the money every day. And you're just gonna let this guy hug you against the cage, knee you to the thigh like a marab, and then do nothing. Like, come on. This is professional level, brother. Anyways, maybe I could have found out if I looked a little bit more into this guy's past. Don't really care. I mean, it's light heavyweight at the end of the day. At least Bruno Lopez is someone, I guess. He looked okay out there. This kind of just looked like a little bit of a Randy Brown, Brian Battle situation, if I'm going to be real with you guys, I just think Gadzalov, he's a little bit like Randy Brown, just didn't do much in the clinch, He would initiate clinches and then get held against the cage and do nothing. Like, I don't know, maybe he had an injury or something. I think someone said a torn bicep or some shit while he was walking off after they, I guess, announced it. I don't know. It was dumb. This guy's just like Magomed here. He's not the brightest of the cliff dwellers, and I think we all know that, I think Magomed. Yeah, no more cliff dwelling for him. He's down in the caverns. Cliff is just a little bit too high for him. Anyways, moving on, we have Ernesta Katakevich versus Nicoli. This was a decision fight. I'm gonna act like I watched the fight fully and enjoyed it. It was a good fight. Yeah, I got my pick right. Don't really care. It's women fights at the end of the day. Like, I really don't. I don't find it entertaining. It's nothing to do with them being women. It's just like they're all low level in my opinion. I don't like watching it. You know, it just looks like a street beefs, but they just allow them to hug each other forever. Anyways, moving on. We have Preston Parsons versus Jacob Smith. I picked Jacob Smith. Yeah, this kind of just, like, Preston Parsons kind of sucks, and Jacob Smith is, like, something, and that's kind of what I predicted. You know, I didn't even have to watch Jacob Smith. Preston Parsons just isn't good, you know? He just really isn't that great. You know, he's got nothing really good about him. He's got no power. His grappling's if you want to give him something. I don't know, striking defense is terrible. Like, there's just nothing good about Preston Parsons at this point, you know? So, end of the day, Jacob Smith wins. Anyways, we have Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. I got this one right again, baby. Let's go. I went on a bit of a heater early on in this card. You know, then we got brutalized, but we'll get to that. Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. I think at the end of the day, this is Thiago Moises doing Thiago Moises things. Wow, I didn't realize it was that close on strikes. Holy shit. Damn, Trey Ogden kind of outlanded. Now, I do think a lot of people are probably going to say, like, oh, Trey Ogden should have won or whatever. Like, I'm sure I didn't watch The Guru because that fat fuck didn't decide to stream. You know, ya bastard, ruining my UFC to start the year. How fucking dare you, alright? But, no, obviously I'm joking. But, no, I can see, like, a guru or, like, someone who picked Trey Ogden being like, nah, bullshit, terrible decision. At the end of the day, like, Thiago Moises kind of cooked in round 2 and 3. It was just round 1, I was looking a little, like, I don't really know what the plan is here, Moises. But he ended up getting the grappling going, and he just ended up hugging him. It's not showing takedowns, but I swear Thiago landed a takedown every round, and then he just hugged Trey Ogden there at the end of round 3 and pretty much throughout the round 2. You just laid on him. That's Thiago Moises things. He's just good grappling. Trey Ogden had no way to get up. Yeah, Thiago Moises is good, you know? I know why people fade him. It's because, like, he does have a lot of losses, and he is, like, this kind of wishy-washy fighter sometimes. But I think, like, at least within the last 2 years, Moises is looking, like, consistent at what Moises does. So, you know, Moises just did Moises things. Trey Ogden, you know, he's not like a young prospect either. You know what I mean? Where, like, Thiago Moises, he's at least young. We got time with him, I guess, you know? He's going to be around for a while. Could be this lightweight gatekeeper, maybe, at the unranked level, I guess. I don't you know, that's where I'd put him. Anyways, Marco Tulio versus Ior Pateria. Now, I know, Gingers, hey, what can you do? Sometimes Gingers just don't have good gins, you know? It just is what it is, guys, you know? You know, I can't fault the brother. Can't fault another fellow ginger brother for just not having a good chin. It is what it is. You know, he got laid out. Some people, I think, were calling early stoppage. I get it, man. He kind of just got flatlined on the ground. You know, it's Ior Pateria at the end of the day. He kind of just does do that. But he was landing a little bit earlier on. You know, kind of sucks for Ior Pateria. I thought he was at least going to, like, I thought he was going to last a lot longer than he did. You know, I picked Ior, so I got this one wrong. It is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. Ior's a G. I still like Ior. I always appreciate fighters that will live and die by the sword. You know, they'll just get into the pocket and they'll swing, even if they don't have a good chin, you know? At least they try to get a KO. At least they try to make it entertaining, you know? So, I like it. Anyways, moving on to Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunes. Now, I got this one wrong. Now, what I will say, though, I think Jose Johnson's actually not that bad. He did get armbarred, I get that. Felipe Bunes, I think that's how you pronounce it. He is a lot better than I thought. Like, he was very quick to snatch up that submission. But at the end of the day, it was 2 minutes. Like, that's what we learned. But Jose Johnson had really good scrambles, and then it just kind of like, shit, this armbar is just not getting let go, huh? And then he kind of had to tap. It is what it is. I like my boy Jose Johnson still. I think he's a G. I think he's one of these fighters who's just high level. It's flyweight at the end of the day. So I do think he's going to be a nice, not contender, but like a nice gatekeeper in flyweight. You know, I think he's good, man. You know, people shit on him. I think he's still good. You know, it's flyweight. Everyone's good. It is what it is. But, yeah. Kind of a rough one for Jose Johnson. Hopefully he remains active this year and starts getting something going. But, yeah. Anyways, moving on. We have the main card. We have Punahele Soriano. Now, this is the last one for the bad streak, I guess we'll go. The loss streak that I had as far as my picks go. Punahele Soriano, I picked Uros Medic. I thought Uros Medic, like, I said it even in my breakdown, I don't think he's that good. I think people overrate him. I think we found out he's not that good, and people have been overrating him. Uros Medic is just a wishy-washy fighter. Sometimes he looks like he's top level. Other times it just looks like he just gets washed. You know, it is what it is. I'll be honest, I stepped away for a minute, came back, and Uros Medic was just fucking out. In terms of, like, they were out of the cage, you know? I think I went to go take a shit or something, and then I came back, and it was just over. I was just like, well, fuck. You know, I gotta go watch back and see what happened. Maybe it was, like, a weird early stoppage, but at the end of the day, it's just... yeah, it's just disappointing. You know, it's just disappointing when you have, like, a prospect who's, like, pretty good, does good against, like, decent level opponents, and then it's like, now he's shit, you know? And I think we found out Uros Medic is just a fade. You don't really want to bet him. I don't bet. I don't do this for betting advice. I am not your financial advisor. I just do this for fun. And mainly because I have passion for the sport. But, yeah. It's just, Uros Medic is just like a fade for picks now. If there is like a decent to top level guy in welterweight, I'm not picking Uros Medic anymore. It is what it is. But yeah, anyways, moving on. We have Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. Now, hey. I got the pick right, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now, C-Rod over here. Good old C-Rod. A lot of people were doubting, alright? A lot of people doubting my boy C-Rod. I get it. He's killed a lot of prospects, but this guy's on a fucking killing streak on these prospects. Bro, this guy is a Charmander in a grass-type gym right now. That's what I'm saying, you know? He's whooping every trainer's ass with that fucking Ember right now, you know? It's just something about the guy. He's got... some people just have these weird buffs, you know? Marvin Vettori, when he fights anyone, has a godlike chin. Fucking Jack Hermanson, when he's fighting someone who's a high level, great chin, you know? Christian Rodriguez, his skills are, like, amplified, you know? He puts up the sword dance, he puts up the agility, and he's putting up the fucking amnesia, alright? He's getting well-rounded here. He's getting that ancient power boost every single time that he steps in a cage with a prospect. It is what it is, you know? You just did C-Rod things, and I think I picked this fight perfectly at 29-28. Now, I know I'm no Einstein for picking C-Rod by decision, 29-28, because that's how he's been beating these prospects. But C-Rod's good, you know? He's not bad. At the end of the day, didn't really see much of this Austin Bashi guy. But I think C-Rod just does C-Rod things. Like, I think it's hard to get past a C-Rod level of opponent, even as your debut. You gotta be like top 5 level in featherweight, I think, to get past C-Rod in terms of like a debut here. You know, someone with not high level experience, right? I recognize he has 13 wins. They're not to anyone I fucking know, you know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, C-Rod just did C-Rod things. It is what it is, you know? Shout out to MMA Holes. I was watching his stream to amplify my experience. I had to go for a little bit of a walk, you know, get that cardio in, keep the health up, type shit. But, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the decision. There's an argument, I guess you give it to Bashi. Maybe I'll have to go rewatch the fight, but I think C-Rod won clear. Just based on numbers, I guess. Actually, wait, what were the numbers? Yeah. Based on numbers, damage, he landed that nice knee in round 1. Submission attempts, he was doing more with his takedowns. C-Rod's just good, you know, he's just good. Now, he's no champion, but he is just good, you know? He's a little bit of, he's like the featherweight Neil Magny. Like, you really do have to be better than him in order to beat him, you know? That's kind of just how a Neil Magny guard works in the division. You know, he's just in the unranked version. But yeah, anyways, moving on, we have probably my favorite fight of the whole card. Chris Curtis, sorry, I get, yabba dabba doo, holy fuck. Anyways, I gotta get my brain checked. I gotta need a brain scan. Anyways, Chris Curtis versus fucking Roman Kopylov. I love both these fighters. I really didn't want to see them fight in terms of, like, I don't want to see the loser. Ooh, did that loss feel bad. Listen, I picked Roman Kopylov via a head kick or flying knee, some sort of kicking-related finish in the later rounds, aka round 2 or round 3. And while he did technically get it, I do think Chris Curtis was robbed of a decision here. Really does suck. I know some people are going to say he was out. No, he wasn't. He got wobbled. Being wobbled and out are two very different things. If you are wobbled, you can still continue the fight. That's kind of how it always works in MMA. The only time they don't want to do it, I guess, is when it's a Jared Cannonier or Chris Curtis. Maybe it's a little bit of a race thing going on here, UFC, huh? Check those refs, huh? Just saying. You know, Mark Smith. I think that was the ref. But regardless, yeah, Chris Curtis, he got robbed of a decision pretty badly. I don't think he would have won. I think it would have been a clear 2-1 Kopylov. But if you're on the Chris Curtis side, I'd imagine you're probably flipping your fucking desk right now, thinking of that decision you were robbed by, especially if you had money on this fight. Man, am I glad I don't gamble. Woo! Anyways, yeah. This fight was really high level. This fight was good. I really like this. Kopylov got a new PB for significant strikes and strikes overall. Curtis was throwing back and forth. Now, overall, I think this was kind of like Curtis was doing more visual damage in terms of on his opponent. Kopylov was landing the more obvious damage in terms of what was hurting him. Chris Curtis, in his older age, is kind of easy to tell when he's hurt. And I think he was getting frustrated at moments where it's just like, it's kind of obvious to see that, like, when Chris Curtis is, like, down and around and he's trying to get something going in the final minute, and then Kopylov shoots a takedown to, like, protect that from happening, you can tell he gets fucking frustrated. But no idea why they stopped the fight. It was literally the last second. Chris Curtis was fine because Kopylov was literally walking away, and Mark Smith didn't even bother looking at what Kopylov was about to do. Which is really odd. I feel like Mark Smith did a really bad, I think that was his name, did a really bad job of not, like, keeping both of them in vision. I understand he wanted to get close to stopping the fight. Brother, he had a second left, you know? And I swear to God, they cut to, like, commercial or whatever. It looked like Chris Curtis was about to beat the fucking ref's ass. He was so pissed. I think he took it out his mouthpiece, started screaming. You saw that spit flying. I like to see that passion. Now, unfortunately, Chris Curtis is a victim of the cheating sort of things. Whenever he fights his opponent, he somehow always gets a nut shot. He somehow always gets head-butted. He somehow always gets eye-poked. And they didn't deduce a point. I get why, because it's MMA. And at the end of the day, I'm tired of being like, oh, he got a clear eye-poke. Oh, he was dunked on his head. Oh, he was hit in the back of the head. Ref, call a point. At this point, it's just like, they're not going to do that. It's just literally you flip a coin. You're playing Pokemon TCG. You're flipping a coin on a Misty, hoping to get all fucking, I think it's heads. Yeah, you're trying to get all these heads. You know, in terms of when a ref decides to deduce a point, and we just keep on flipping tails. It is what it is. You know, sometimes the refs just won't give out the points or deductions, I should say. It is what it is. You know. In terms of a fight, though, I personally do think Kopylov won. But it is what it is at the end of the day. You know, Kopylov, he got the KO. You know, good fight, though. I think it should get performance of the night, fight bonus, whatever the fuck. Give them both 50K. Especially Chris, because Chris was kind of robbed of that decision pretty poorly. Anyways, moving on. We have Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. What a wonderful day. That should be his walkout every single time. Or his, like, on mic moment. Cesar Almeida, what a wonderful day. You know, if you don't get that reference, hey, you're not watching the monkey movies, alright? I know that sounded racist. I promise you it's not. Kind of. Anyways, Cesar Almeida got the KO in round... Wow, no, I'm looking at the wrong... Anyways, he got the KO in round 1. I was looking a little too far ahead. By the way, got Kopylov right. Yeah, C-Rod right. I think I went over that. Cesar Almeida gets a KO. Now, it was kind of close, I'm not gonna lie. When Abdul Razak Al Hassan fights... Now, I know some people are gonna get, like, fucking triggered when I say this. Abdul Razak Al Hassan is kind of like a Khalil Roundtree with less takedown defense and more cheating. That's who Abdul Razak Al Hassan reminds me of. I think he actually does have a Muay Thai background, which might be why I see the parallels. But also, Abdul loves to just swing with everything he has. I respect it, but this is like a professional MMA fight. You're not going to get away with that against high-level opponents. Alex Pereira proved that, and, you know, well, this was actually like a... This was actually Khalil Roundtree and Alex Pereira, but like the no-name brand, if you will. You know, the great value, if you will. You know, because, you know, obviously Caesar's a kickboxer, Brazilian, so is Alex. Abdul, Muay Thai fighter, so was Khalil, you know, and they both dropped their opponent. You know, Cesar Almeida did get dropped, I think pretty clear, but, you know, he stuck with it. There was moments where I was getting worried because Abdul is really good at just literally launching everything with full force, but, yeah, Almeida just chinned him. Abdul is 39, I believe. That doesn't say his age, but, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like 39. Bro's old, no chin, and he's throwing with everything he has. You're gonna get chinned. I'm sorry. You're gonna get chinned. You know, and it was fucking nasty. I thought he died for a second. That was one of those Terrence McKinney ones. Or what's another one? Who's another person? Oh, Phil Hawes. That was one of those, like, oh shit. You know, that was almost like a Bryce Mitchell, but like the dark chocolate version. A little reminiscent of that, I'd say, just in a reverse position and then a knockout, you know? But yeah. Sick from Cesar Almeida. It was just, Abdul has no technique, man. He throws with everything he has. I respect it. But brother, clean it up. Like, what are you doing? This is the same problem I have with Khalil. Like, clean it up, brother. Why are you just throwing everything you have? You know, Khalil's got way more technique than Abdul. But it's like, come on, man. Like, pace yourself. This is a 15-minute, 25-minute fight. Pace yourself, you dumb fuck. Jesus Christ. Also, a lot of people who throw with everything they have, they open themselves to KOs, which we're going to segue into the next fight. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Harris. I picked Cesar Almeida, by the way, if I didn't make that clear. Saying it now. Ponzinibbio versus Carlson Harris. I went with Harris, and I did say that Ponzinibbio was going to get clipped just out of nowhere and get knocked out. I was almost spot on in round one. It was very close to getting stopped, where Ponzinibbio just went down, and I think the ref just let him get up. Harris is a little bit of an awkward fighter in terms of his striking, which is kind of cool to watch, but he does leave himself to be open. He's like a human Sean Woodson, if that makes any sense, you know, in terms of the way he throws. He throws very, like, hammer fist instead of jabs. You know, he's throwing a lot of loops. He's kind of not really blocking with any of his hands. But yeah, he'll definitely take one to give one. I love the fight. It was a great fight. Ponzinibbio did end up getting the KO. Now, it was kind of an early stoppage, to be fair, but, like, I get it. It makes sense, you know? It could have arguably been stopped a little earlier when Carlson Harris did get dropped and was, like, trying to shoot for a takedown while he was on bottom, sort of thing, like dive in the legs. But, yeah, Ponzinibbio, neither of these guys are good. Neither of these guys are going to get ranked fighters anytime soon. Neither of these guys are ever going to be anything in the welterweight division. But they're at least fun to watch. You know, they'll at least make, like, a boring fight at least fun. Because one of them's probably going to get KO'd in a pretty goofy way. Or at least, like, make it a banger. And this one was a banger, you know? I appreciate it. Especially, the main card was actually pretty good in terms of fights. Yeah, it was pretty good in terms of fight. A lot of finishes. I think everyone, I guess, except for C-Rod. Anyways, moving on to the main event. The one that everyone, I'm sure, is here to watch, guys. Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Rhibas. I wasn't really looking at this fight. Don't care. I'll just be honest. I'll keep it a buck. Every time I looked, I think Dern was on top of Rhibas or, like, getting an armbar attempt going or something. And then she eventually got the armbar. Cool. I don't care. Anyways, that is my breakdown of the UFC Fight Night with Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Rhibas 2. And I'm sure I probably have the record that I did in the bottom here, you know, or I put it in the description, either or. Yeah, feel free to subscribe. You know, I post MMA content. I'm on the rise. Hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm just saying, just saying. Just saying, if you're looking for a new MMA content creator on the block, you know. But yeah, I just do content. Everything's about passion. I pretty much just do videos on anything I'm passionate about. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching, making it all the way to the end of this video. And as always, I hope you have a good day.